I enjoyed being on the panel, and I think we shared a lot of different perspectives about change. The conversation was much broader than I'd anticipated, and actually to have the discussion very, very broadly was good.
That there are so many perspectives that you need to actually consider when you're communicating and when you're collaborating with staff in difficult times, that there's no one easy theory that you can rely on.
It's interesting seeing how it's affected other people's organisations and their first-hand experience of change, and also seeing it from a psychologist's perspective and other professionals' perspective as well.
For me, most people always ask, what does this mean for me? And that for me is the most important thing to answer. Obviously, executives or those at the top think about the business side of the change, but I actually think folks on the ground really just want to know, what is the impact on me?
One of the core principles of our communication is about how staff feel about the change, and we take a great deal of time and energy and effort in making sure that if staff don't like the decision that is being made about the business and the change, that they at least understand the rationale and the business reason behind that decision.
I guess there's always a feeling that people perhaps should have been clearer about it. Or we should have seen it coming. It should have perhaps been eased. The communication should have been done, kind of eased in. Yeah.
I was intrigued by the context that change is often referred to as a negative context, and I noticed that the theme tonight is reorganisation, redundancies, and restructure, which in itself is viewed largely negatively. We didn't really talk that much about change in the context of growth and expansion and what that might mean and how that needs to be handled differently. But that's a slightly different agenda item for perhaps a slightly different economic environment. It was good.
Everything the panel spoke about was real, and I could relate the questions and the answers to real situations. I think the key message that I heard was from one of the panellists who said, you've got to know your audience, because you might have the same message to deliver across the two companies in a number of different continents, countries, what have you. But the message will be different if that's in France or the UK. And as long as you can stick to that message and convey it as truthfully, as honestly as you can, and as transparently as you can, I think that will be where you'll see success.
Have a clear business case and execute it quickly.
And put it into perspective, in the sense that if you're losing something and that in the greater scheme of things isn't so big, don't sweat it. And try to put it into perspective what other people are doing at these times.
Plan it early, don't do it on the hoof. Make sure you've got the buy-in of all the professionals you need.